Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am sharing this adorable Piñata birthday card complete with authentic Piñata fringe. And it features the brand new release from the Essentials by Ellen line that is available today. I'm giving you a peek at all the products here. If you head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com, I will have it linked below. Over there, you're going to find links to all the products, and you're going to find some additional images of projects that I've created with each of these products. Now, there are some great stamps and coordinating dies in this. I absolutely love the Guac On stamp set. I love the Hit That, which I'll be featuring today, as well as this Never Ending Fringe die set. It is so cool. And there are also some brand new essential stitching dies from the Essentials by Ellen line. And these are fabulous dies that coordinate with the already available essential shape dies from the Essentials by Ellen line. So here's a look. They come in the circles, ovals, rectangles, and squares, and I'll be sharing a project featuring a string art card with those very soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Now, you can't have a piñata without some tissue paper fringe. And so I've gone ahead and picked some various colors of tissue paper. This is just like gift packaging tissue paper. I got it in a variety pack. I don't even know where from. And I have it just folded on itself, and I've cut it down so it will fit in my die cut machine. And I wanted to give you a close look at this never ending fringe, because if you look on this side, there is no cut line on this side of this die, on both sides. So that means that you can take this die, move it over, and create a very, very, very long piece of fringe to use on your project. Or in my case, because it doesn't cut the edge, when I die cut these several layers of tissue paper all at one time, they're going to kind of stay connected on the end as well and make it a little bit easier for me to work with. Now, I am taking 2 stacks of these tissue papers at a time and running them through the die cut machine. I'm using my Gemini Junior, and I don't have an additional metal shim. I'm just running them through, and you can see they're cutting beautifully. Now, I did want to mention I am using the medium size fringe die from the Never Ending Fringe die set. It comes with 3 sizes of fringe in the die set, so it's a great value. And all of them have that feature where they do not cut the end. Now, it's really easy if you just need that smaller piece of fringe to trim it off, but it's great if you want to cut extra long fringe to use for various crafting projects. You can have it continue on and on and on and on. Now, you're going to see me snip some of the excess off, but I'm going to leave them connected on the end because, as I said before, it's going to make it easier for me to work with these groupings of tissue paper if they're kind of connected together. So now that I have all of my tissue paper fringe collected and die cut, I'm going to start adhering it onto a piece of Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock. I'm using a little bit of Lawn Fawn liquid glue here. I just thought this was the easiest. You're going to see me cut off this tab. They are still connected on the end. And because I need to adhere each tissue paper layer to the card base over the previous one, I'm going to help separate these various layers of tissue paper using my scissors. I'm kind of keeping the fringe from going crazy by stroking downwards with the kind of direction of the fringe. If you get them all kind of fringed out at this point, it's going to be harder to do the steps later on. So then I'm just going to separate the layers at the top where that band that holds them all together is, and I'm going to add some liquid adhesive between the layers. And I ended up using about 3 layers of each color of this tissue paper and just kind of adding that layer of liquid glue between each layer of fringe. Now, when I die cut the tissue paper, there was probably about 5 or 6 layers of each color. And you can see here, I'm just sneaking that little tip right between the layers and gluing that on. Now, you'll want to start at the bottom and work your way up. I tried it the other way. It doesn't work so well. And so I am moving my way up this piece of cardstock using my various colors of fringe. So once again, I've adhered it onto the cardstock. I'm going to use my scissors and kind of stroke downwards to kind of separate the layers. I'm going to separate just the top layers, those bands at the top, and sneak some liquid glue behind them. And this is going to allow all of those layers to be attached really well and still allow the fringe to kind of, well, fringe, I guess. Kind of dance and play. And you can do this with cardstock as well. I just thought that the tissue paper felt really authentic piñata-like, and it also just kind of has a little bit more movement to it as well. It's a little lighter weight of a material, so it's going to fringe up a little easier, and it was fairly easy to work with. So once again, I just wanted to give you a good look at how I'm kind of sneaking that liquid glue between each of the layers. I'm keeping the fringe kind of all tame at this point by stroking downward to separate the layers because I don't want them to flip up just yet, because we are going to take this piece of cardstock once we have all of the colors attached to it, and we're going to die cut it using a shape die. So we're going to create our very own piñata. So here's a look at the final piece. I have all the different colors adhered to the cardstock, and I did use 80-pound cardstock, so it would be easier to die cut through all of these layers. And I'm going to take one of the Hero Arts Infinity Hearts dies, and I'm going to hold it in place with a piece of purple tape. Notice I'm going to put the purple tape to where it's not overlapping the tissue paper that I want to keep intact, because tissue paper is a little more delicate, so you want to be careful with it. And I'm going to run this through the die cut machine. And I did my best to make sure that that band at the top of my lightest color of pink stayed intact so that all of the fringe would stay adhered to my die cut heart. Now there were some places around the edge of this die cut that the fringe was kind of a little loose because of the way the curve is of the die. So I'm just taking some liquid glue and I'm adding it right around the edge of this heart to kind of keep any of the edge fringe from falling off. And then I'm just going to take my finger and run it along the edge, and I'm going to set that aside and let it dry. And that's going to keep all of those edge pieces of fringe from kind of separating from the band that holds it to the cardstock and falling off of the project. So now I have my little piñata. I've stamped him onto some Neenah Solar White heavyweight cardstock using some Gina K Obsidian Amalgam ink. I've colored him with some Copic markers, and now I am using the coordinating die to die cut him out. And before I place him onto my piñata heart, I'm going to go ahead and fringe up the fringe a little bit using my tweezers. I'm going to add a little twine bow to the top of my piñata here. This is the natural hemp cord from Fawn. And so I've just tied a little bow. I'm going to adhere it onto the top of my piñata using some Fawn liquid glue. And I'm also going to attach a longer string to the back of the piñata using that same Fawn liquid glue. And we'll kind of curl that up and make it a little fun embellishment. Now, in order to hold that string in place while it dries, that liquid glue takes just a few minutes to dry. I'm going to use my tweezers and just kind of pinch it on there and let it kind of set up and dry. And you can see I already added my foam adhesive to the back of my piñata as well. And I'm going to remove the foam adhesive backer and place it onto my piñata heart. And I decided to kind of have him at a little bit of an angle so he kind of looks like he's swinging freely there. And initially, I was going to kind of put this on an all-white card, and I decided that it looked really amazing on this craft card front. So I used one of the Essentials by Ellen Essential Rectangles and die cut some craft cardstock. I'm going to add my piñata heart onto this craft cardstock using some foam adhesive and just kind of place it in place there. And you can see I have a gold heat embossed sentiment on vellum up there. I don't actually use that. I decided to go with a white heat embossed sentiment right on the card front, and I think that that was a much better choice. Now you can see I'm just adhering my twine to the back of the card front here and kind of creating some loops in the twine and holding those in place on the card front using the Lawn Fawn liquid glues. This is going to dry clear, so I'm not really worried about it being seen too much, but you'll just want to use some small dots. And when that's dry, I can go ahead and remove the backer from the foam adhesive that I placed on the back of my card front and place this onto a top folding A2 size card created from some Essentials by Ellen linen cardstock. Now to embellish my card a little bit more, I used the Pink Fresh Studio clay sprinkles. The color palette was perfect. I'm just adhering them on once again with some liquid glue. And I thought I had hit the record button, but apparently I didn't for the part where I actually heat embossed my sentiment onto my card front, but there it is in all its glory. That sentiment is from the Succulent sentiment stamp set from the Essentials by Ellen line. And I don't know if you can tell in these pictures here, but I finished off my piñata with some Stardust Stickles just to add a little bit of glitter to him, and I think it was the perfect finishing touch for this card. As always, I will have links to the featured products used in this project in the description at YouTube, so if you're looking for something in particular, be sure you check there. Or head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Over there, you'll find more still shots, more information, a complete list of supplies, and a look at some other projects that I created using this brand new release from the Essentials by Ellen line, which I absolutely love. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here on my YouTube channel so you won't miss any of my paper crafting and card making video tutorials. And if you enjoyed it, I would love it if you would share this video with a friend as well. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.